really think and count your blessings. You know, every day I'm just trying to take it day by day.
My nephew. Okay, Terrence. Terrence BK is called Thankful.
I was taught to huddle up or get close. But life showed me never ever trust a soul. Same person getting played, you call them wrong. That's why I keep my circle hella small, bro. That's why I stopped texting people random hoes. Past month I'm at my all-time low. But I'ma keep my head up and I'm thankful.
Hey, little mama. Hi, Sylvia. Happy birthday. Thank you. From London. Hi, Cece.
You ain't even here, man.
Hey, Tanisha. Thank you. Hey, Tanisha. The big 51, girl.
They're also saying it's 3 years for the crime and then 5 years for the enhancement. So I'm like, look at 8 years. But at first they're trying to give you life.
I would never switch up, I would never go. I was taught to huddle up or get close.
And go Terrence, Nikki.
Never ever trust a soul.
Right.
Same person getting played, you call them wrong. That's why I keep my circle hella small.
Thank you, Raquel, twin sis. Thank you. Love my new cup, sis. Listen to Bobby some cups. Say positivity on it for my birthday. Demisha said we killing it. With the hat, girl. Hey Gina, thank you. Happy birthday, thank you, Gina.
I would never switch up, I would never go. I was taught to huddle up or get close. But life showed me never ever trust a soul. Same person getting played, you call them wrong. That's why I keep my circle hella small, bro. That's why I stopped texting people random hoes. Past month I'm at my all-time low. But I'ma keep my head up, God, I'm thankful.
Hey Bruce, thank you. Hey Rasta. Hey Mama, thank you. All right, 51. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Positivity discussion. You have to remember that HIV still exists. You have to get tested. You have to use protection. And if you have contracted HIV, you can get on medication and you can live a better, healthier life. I got my sister here with me today. Let me do my little spiel. Hi, this is Hey D with Hey D Podcast. Remember, every day is a new start. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh yeah, I forgot. You're beautiful. You are amazing, and you are strong. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Oh, thank you. Now we're getting ready to sing happy birthday. We're going to sing happy birthday to ourselves. We're going to sing happy birthday to ourselves, and then we're going to get started what the title is. Okay? We want to sing happy birthday to ourselves because we can't hear y'all sing it to us. But you can sing it with us if you want to. You ready? You ready? Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday. 51 in the house. Hey, Serena. Thanks for joining. Oh my God, hey, Dale. You guys could be here with us. Oh, hey, Delaya. Look at my cousin. Hey. We had so much fun last year. Oh my God. It was the best birthday party ever. If I could have stayed in that moment, I would have stayed there every single day for the rest of my life. It was amazing. It's like something unforgettable, an unforgettable year that you couldn't forget. It's like an Oscar theme, and it actually turned out perfect. I
It
mean,
did.
everybody was dressed from
To
the
the
head to
nine.
toe.
To the nine.
We gave away Oscars. We didn't give away all the Oscars we wanted to give away, but we gave away
But
Oscars
we was
and
all over the
everything.
We didn't even do
Ooh.
everything on the list that we said we were going to do.
Right. We did, Raquel. We had so much fun. Bruce came, Deirdre came, Raquel, Elise, Nishi, Alicia, Connie. Had a great time. And then all of our family, we have so
Hi,
much
Tracy.
family
Hi.
here in Las Vegas. So
Lot.
most of the people at the party was our family, believe it or not. Anyway, thank you, Murray. Thank you. So the title talks about identical twins, the storm behind the smile.
Right.
And the reason why I called it that is because one day my sister, because she never, ever talks about the stuff that we've been through.
So I don't know if you guys got my video. I know people on my page and my friends, they got it. I emailed it to a lot of people first, close friends first, you, including Sylvia, my sister, some of my cousins. I emailed the video to them first, and then I did the YouTube channel and sent it to my sister as well. And I don't know if she shared it with you guys.
I did have to take it down. Something was going on when it wasn't showing or something.
But the video has to do with what happened to us growing up. And Davina titled it. What did you title it?
Right now?
Yeah.
Identical twins, the storm behind the smile. So a lot of you know me, but I think there's a lot that you don't know. As far as what happened when we were growing up, and then you wonder why you see the smile all the time.
Right. As people always say, you're always smiling. Always smiling. So the reason being is Davina and I together, thank goodness we had each other, were homeless. Around the age of 14 or 15 years old, we lost both of our parents, not to death, but to drugs and alcoholism.
We came from a middle-class family.
Had everything.
We had horses, we had pigs, we had goats,
ballet,
tap,
jazz dance, cheerleading, football games, playing outside in the summer till the lights came on. I mean, the typical family. Yeah. Christmases were like toy stores. We had so much stuff. And Shannon, if you're still there, I know she remembers because she grew up with us for about 6 years. My parents raised her, but there was nothing that we didn't have.
We had everything. My dad was a state-to-state truck driver. My mom went to school, and then eventually she landed a job at an aerospace company called Lockheed Martin. So, I mean, we did fairly well back then. The money that they were making was good, but if they wasn't making now, we'd probably be struggling.
Right.
That was like in the 70s and 80s. So, in the 80s,
how I describe it is you have a cookie cutter family that has 4 children, house, couple cars, dog, and then you wake up one day. This is how I describe it for me. I don't know about for Davina, but when you wake up, it's like a dream. Everything is completely gone.
It was gone. The house was gone. We had to move out. We ended up at my grandma's.
My father ended up in prison.
My mom chose her boyfriend over us.
It is what it is.
We were basically homeless. And we went from pedal to post.
Place to place.
A lot of our family did not know this. And so I had a cousin call me the other day and ask me, why didn't you guys tell anybody? Well, you're 14, 15. Who do you tell? You don't know that you're supposed to tell anybody. You just go from pedal to post.
And I didn't know if it was more for us embarrassment.
Yeah.
Or even as children, being so prideful that you just don't want to say anything. In my video, I also say that we would go visit people.
Family.
So, and you know how you visit people, friends or family, and then it's time to go home.
We'd just leave.
We'd leave to go nowhere.
We didn't have anywhere to go.
Sometimes we'd walk for hours until we found some place to sleep or found a friend, an older friend that had a place to stay. That
Yeah,
would
we had
lay our
a lot of friends that were like 20,
20,
21, 22 years old
Right.
that helped us out a lot. We used to ride the RTD bus around in California,
Right.
and we would just ride it and continue to ride it
Is at home.
until we were kicked off the bus
The
because
bus
we didn't
is
have
run
anywhere to
24
go.
hours, and they only make you get off the bus when they need to clean it.
Yeah.
But we'd sleep on the back of the bus sometimes because we didn't have anywhere to stay.
So I'll let you go ahead and talk a little bit about what you went through, and then I can add on to it if I had anything to do with what you're talking about.
Okay.
So by the time we were 15, I can say that I was actually we were in San Bernardino for a little while.
But we didn't go to San Bernardino.
I ended up in
Yeah.
I ended up in Los Angeles, and I lived with a group of Hoover gangbangers in a drug house, and the house was always getting shot up. We were always ducking. I was being abused by the guy that I was with at 15.
He was older than her.
Who
was older than her? Yeah.
I would get locked in the room, could come out like I was 5. I don't know, where were you at when you were 15? So much stuff has happened.
I was still in the house.
Where though in the
I
house?
can't remember.
Were you at Nita's house?
Yes.
You couldn't have been because Daddy was in jail when
Doesn't
I was
matter.
in.
But I still was.
When I was in.
Because I didn't go
LA.
to San Bernardino until I was 16, almost 17 years old.
Because we both went to San Bernardino at the same time.
Yeah. So there's a lot of times where we would separate
and then end up back together.
End up back together again. And it's so funny because I mentioned this to a friend is that we all have cell phones now, right? Everybody has a cell phone. There were no cell phones then, and we would always find each other. You know,
we
didn't
have
go from one place to another. Hey, you see my sister? You see my sister? Oh, she's over there. And we would always reconnect even after 24 hours. But there would be times that maybe I wouldn't see her for a week, or she wouldn't see me for a week or a couple of days. But we'd always end up back together again. So we always knew where to look for one another.
For each other.
Right.
And I remember,
Anthony,
I remember me trying to work. If you don't have a work permit or anything at that age. So I was taught by an older cousin that, you can get a job anywhere. You have to do is lie. And so I was supposed to be 21 and I was working at a factory at 15 making shampoo bottles. I remember that like it was yesterday.
And see, years ago, they didn't ask for your driver's license or birth certificate like they do now. I worked at bars. I served alcohol to people because they thought I was 21 years old. So you try to do whatever you can to try to get by. We had a friend who was older, and sometimes he would get hotel rooms, and we'd sleep in like little cheap hotels. I remember sleeping on park benches. I remember sleeping in back of people's cars. We've had incidences where our friends would sneak us in. The friends that did know would sneak us in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I had
in
a friend sneak me in through a window, and I would sleep under their bed, so their mother wouldn't know that I was there. And I couldn't come out the next morning until she went to work at 11 o'clock. So I just stayed under the bed. I slept in her car. I can go. So imagine being
a child
with this great family, and then the family is gone. So it's like fending for yourself, like trying to figure out.
Just trying to figure it out on your own is what you're trying to do. Just trying to figure everything out. A lot of times kids think they don't need their parents, and a lot of times parents think their kids aren't listening, but your kids are listening. And kids, they do need their parents. I listened to everything that my father taught us, every single thing. In parenting, in the family, he was a fantastic,
great father.
He was a great father.
He combed our hair.
He gave us we had a great
foundation.
Taught us
how to cook.
Great foundation.
We had chores every morning. We had to take a bowl of water and soap and wash the baseboards every weekend. I mean, we had a
wash
really
clothes
great
and
family. Every weekend we go visit a particular family member. But when drugs hit the scene in the 80s,
in the neighborhoods, and
it wasn't just our family. It was a bunch of people's families that it just everything just went downhill. They're thinking that it's a recreational drug, but everybody ended up getting addicted to the crack cocaine, and that's basically what happened to our family. So
then at one point we did live with Daddy for a little while,
just for a little while.
For a little while, and then that
didn't last
long. Like I said in my video, everything got kind of dark because we ended up with his girlfriend and her children, where there was no electricity.
There was nowhere to keep the food but in an ice chest.
It was pretty rough. I know. I don't even want to trying. So in my video, I tell people that, things that go on and things that happen, you don't usually discuss them. And she's more forthcoming with sharing things with you guys than I am. Until I made that video and until COVID. That's what I'll say. Until the pandemic, you sit and I have a lot of time to reevaluate my life, a lot of time to think. As soon as I turned 50 in January is when I felt like I needed to start again, if that makes any sense. Not that I didn't have a great life. My life turned out great. I don't have a lot of complaints. I didn't want for anything. I didn't
So think of a family with 4 girls.
I missed that.
4 girls. And you raised them all exactly the same. And we're identical twins. We're raised exactly the same. Her path took a different turn than mine did.
Right.
And as I got older, I figured out what happened to me because I evaluated my life. So she ended up in a relationship at 17. Well, a little earlier than 17, 16.
No, yeah.
Then she became pregnant at 17. And I remember her and her son's father really, really struggling.
When we stayed together, we really tried as 2 young people because his situation was almost similar. So he didn't have his parents either. So we kind of raised each other.
Yeah.
We're still very good friends to this day.
They didn't have food sometimes. Yeah. I remember a friend of mine worked at Wendy's, and she used to bring food
because we were trying to pay the rent and trying to take care of this little bitty baby. But I go back to us living with my dad's girlfriend and my dad being there. They were high all the time. That's my messenger. They were high all the time, and my dad was still working. But like I said in my video, I've been raped, and I've been raped twice. One was someone I didn't even know. I was on my way to a friend's house, or on my way from leaving a friend's house to go to sleep. So I slept there for a while, and it was a friend that was a little older than me. And on my way back to the neighborhood where my dad's girlfriend was, somebody raped me.
Well, they actually came from behind the trash can.
Right.
Pulled you behind the trash can.
So
she didn't even know who it was.
I don't know who it was. And it was probably about 2 o'clock in the morning, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And then the other rape was somebody I knew, or should I say people I knew, because I was gang raped by 3 neighbors in my dad's girlfriend's neighborhood.
I was raped as well. And I think we probably were raped by the same. That's something I've never shared, ever shared. It's like you put something in the back of your head and you try not to think about it and you just keep going. Why didn't you tell? Who are you supposed to tell? Who are you supposed to tell? You got daddy on crack. You got a girlfriend on crack.
Got a mom
You
that's
got a
with her
mom.
boyfriend and completely forgot about it.
And she's an alcoholic. So we didn't really have anybody
But each other really.
but each other. So we just kept on pressing. I mean, what could you do? You have to just keep on pressing.
You just kind of wing it. That's what you do. You just wing it. It's funny how I always use the term people don't, it's not this funny, people don't realize what they can do to their children. Abuse and everything else. Not just leaving us the way they did, but a lot of people suffer from mental abuse, physical abuse, child molestation. And it does affect you when you don't even realize it. Like I said, I had to sit and evaluate. I've not shared this with a lot of people, but I recently got divorced, and I was with the same man for 16 years. I left October of 2019, and my divorce was final January 2020. So you get the divorce. I've not told, only people who are close to me know this. And that's why I said the pandemic is what kind of did it, because now you have a lot of time to sit
To think. To sit and think.
And meditate and do all of that stuff that you don't normally get to do, because she's the same way I am. We just move. We're constantly busy. I think that has a lot to do with what happened to us.
So you won't think about the things that you don't want to think about.
Right.
So you just keep going. Because you don't want to think about those things.
Who taught us how to be mothers? My father.
My father.
We had a great foundation, Sean. A great foundation. And thank you. She said we're both great mothers. Thank you. So, in the midst of doing all that thinking, I did not, like I said in my video, get angry until this year. Or last year. In the summer of 2020. When you start thinking about what shoulda, coulda, woulda been. Like, what could I have been? What would my life have been like? Because we were honor roll students. We were smart girls. We wanted to go to college. And we wanted to do all these different things. And then you want to do the things that I wanted to do, the things that I had my son do. I wanted to go to prom, and I wanted to hang out with my friends, and I just wanted, I don't know, to be something different, if you could say. There's no telling what our lives would have turned out like, or what we would have become if none of this would have happened to us.
Well, it's just like, okay, like she says, what would our lives have been like if none of this ever happened? So again, like I said, our lives took a different turn. They basically took a different turn. Her strength was different than mine, because I still had to live my life for many, many years. I guess surviving different abusive relationships. I have never been in a relationship that was not abusive for the time that I was 15.
Right.
So then after that abusive relationship, I got in another one when I was 17, and that one lasted 10 years. And that relationship was over with by the time I was 17. And then, 27. And then I find out after that, like, oh God, I'm ready to have his life. Yeah, he's done. He's out of here. Guess what? Boom. You are living with HIV. Something else just stacked right on top of all the things that I had been through. Then you turn around 2 years later, I marry another man. Abusive, drugs, boom, stack again. Just all these bricks just keep piling up on you, and you're thinking, okay, this is the way life is supposed to be, so I'm just gonna deal with it. So abusive relationships from the time that I was 15, all the way until I was 40?
Right. Yep.
Is that how long it's been?
40, 41.
40, yep. 41. Yeah. So I don't know anything else but abusive relationships. That's like a survival mode for me. I didn't know anything else. But you can also say that her path turned out a little different, because
I wasn't
after she had her son, she was in a relationship for a while until he was about 3. And her and her son's father, was he younger than that? And they split up.
We split up, yeah.
They split up, and she started school.
Right. And then I dated another man who had 2 children. And I was with him for 5 to 6 years. I still have a relationship with those children. They are my children. But that relationship didn't work out, and all he did was cheat on me. So her path, like she said, was different because mine, I guess you could say, continued as a normal life.
She was trying to still search for that cookie cutter family.
Right.
That's what she was doing.
And I kept moving up and making my life better and better for me and my son. And then after that relationship, I was not in a serious relationship with anybody else until I married my husband. And I met my husband at 34 years old. I got married at 30.
I mean, you were in relationships.
I dated and things like that.
Long term. So most of mine were long term relationships, and all of them were abusive. So just even to go back from when we were teenagers, I know I'm going back, but when we were teenagers, I did some things that I'm not happy about. I sold drugs in the projects.
Yeah, we both did.
I robbed people. Yeah, well, I have. I had to eat.
Right.
I had to eat. And so then I had a friend who was a really, really good friend. And remember they had payphones back then. And so every day we used to go to the payphone like every other day and call Dorina in San Bernardino and talk to her on the payphone and tell her, when we finish high school, we're coming down there to move and we're going to go to college in San Bernardino.
Right.
And all these great things.
And I was pregnant at the time.
And so school started. And I was basically living with her and her mother and her brother. And school started, and she started school. Well, no, she started school a week before me because I was going to go to school somewhere else. And so she called me and asked me I called her from the payphone. And I told her that I was in the projects and was she coming up there? She said, yes. She says, we're going to go, I'm not going to say the name. We're going to go get something to eat from Kentucky Fried Chicken. Do you want something? I said, yeah, just bring me a strawberry shake. So about maybe 8 p.m., 9 p.m. at night, she pulled up. Now it's really dark in the projects because they break the lights out so nobody won't see anyone selling in the project, selling drugs. And my friend got out of the car and she walked towards me. And all of a sudden we hear these gunshots. I mean, you could see the flashes like they were just really close to us and everybody just ducked. And so after the shots were gone, we heard people say, there they go over there. So they started running. But my friend never got up. And so I haven't talked about this in so long. My friend never got up. And we walked towards her. I'm like, get up, because she's always playing. Like, get up, girl, get up. But it was blood all in the sand. So my friend didn't make it. And that was a really tough time for me at 17. I had to be put on medication because of it. It was very, very traumatizing to have to go through something like that with somebody you were so close to. So after that, I never went back to the projects. Never hung in the projects again. I remember her brother used to always come in there looking for us, and we would hide in people's apartments because we didn't want him to know we were there. But yeah, I never went back there after that. But yeah, that was a really tough time. But just imagining being a teenager and worrying about how you're going to eat
or live, or there's
and
a roof over your head.
Yeah, staying at people's houses and for a couple days and not touching their food because you didn't want them to put you out. You were afraid that they would say you were eating all their food. So sometimes you'd go a day or two before you would really eat a full meal. Um, and that happened often. But yeah, that happened often. So, I mean, I don't know, abuse, drugs, I mean, the whole everything. But as far as Dorina, I mean, she did really well for herself. She really did. She really did do really well. She's got her cosmetology license. She's been doing hair like up to something
Right.
years. She's owned a couple of beauty shops. She paid and put her son through college. He is now 33 years old. He has his master's degree in business. He's married now. She did really, really well when it comes to her son. But I told her I know what happened to me, and as I got older, I figured it out that I was actually looking for my father.
Right.
Because as we grew up and my father started to use drugs, he became very abusive,
Violent, not towards us,
towards
not
other
towards us.
women.
Yeah.
And he landed in prison because he threw gasoline on his girlfriend in the park and threw a match on her
And lit her on fire.
So
they were fighting over drugs.
he actually passed away in prison. We never got a chance. He never got out. And they only gave him 3 years?
No, 5.
Was it 5? Yeah, he never got out. He died
passed
when
away
we were
at
19. When we were 19 years old. So I figured out what I was doing. I was literally searching for my father. I think being with these men that were using and abusive, I'm thinking that I can save them.
Right.
Like a caregiver. I'm thinking I can save them.
Right.
And I didn't realize that until after I was married for 14, 13 years. I was married.
Right.
And when we split up, I figured it out. I said, I can't do this anymore. And so I did. I figured it out. And I know that's what it was. I was searching for my father, trying to save someone else, but it didn't work. So I vowed to never be in another abusive relationship again. Right. If someone told me that they use drugs and they haven't used them in 20 years, I still wouldn't talk to them. I just stepped away from that part and started to accept some different things that I should have been accepting in my life now. And so in actuality, this is, even though I'm living with HIV, this is the happiest that I've ever been in my life.
Right.
And I'm HIV, but I'm happy. You know, I've met, 17, 18 years. I didn't know anybody who was HIV positive all those years. And now I know thousands of good people.
Right.
You know,
great
so
people.
Just being by yourself.
Real friends.
Yeah.
She's my sister.
Yeah.
Just for me from watching from the she's never had real true Nicole. Yeah. She'll always be our friend.
Yeah.
But she's never really had true friendship. And with you people, sorry you guys, I'm looking at another screen.
People.
Yes. Her friend. Because I'm looking at your screen with all your friends. With you guys, she's met true people in her life. People who love her, who value her, who's always going to be there for her. She's never had that. She really has she's never had that. No. So I want to tell you guys, thank you. Thank you for loving my sister. Thank you for being kind to her. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and that's why I fight so hard the way I do when it comes to HIV, because I didn't have anybody by my side for 17, 18 years living with it. And so now I do. And so it's like this push, like I just want to keep on going because I want to help so bad. And I just need some people to understand where I came from. The reason, my resilience for fighting for HIV is so hard because you guys inspire me to keep going, believe it or not. So, that's why I do what I do. But I don't know, we just wanted to share a little bit.
Yeah, share the story.
On our birthday.
Yeah, 51 today. Happy birthday. So yeah, I needed to do this with her.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you.
because you hold things sometimes inside and you don't realize it. You don't realize you're hurting. You don't realize that there's pain there. You really don't realize it.
And we've had a stray relationship, and I can honestly say that. I always get people say, well, you're twins, you should be close. Well, no, we're sisters.
Right. And people forget that. Right.
So how many brothers and sisters do you know who have a rocky relationship? It's not because we're twins. We're sisters. And so just that fight against each other, trying to figure out some things, you know, she talked too much. I talk too much. I know everything. She know everything. And so we just pushed all the time. And sometimes I used to be like, well, I don't think she likes me. And I never tried to figure it out. But I was like, does she not like me?
And I used to say,
what did I do to her?
She acts like she can't stand me.
Yeah.
And I would cry when you're not there.
So we had a really rocky relationship as we became adults.
Right.
I was actually closer to my sister that passed because we always lived in the same state.
Right.
And our kids were always
together. But we
together.
were close as kids. We were best friends. And she's still my best friend. But we were so close when we were younger, inseparable. My sister Yolanda, that she's speaking of, who passed away, would get angry because she would say, you guys are always ganging up on me. And I had to explain to her kids, think about it. There's us two, and then we have two older sisters. So you're born together, you go to school together, you sleep in the same room, but you not only sleep in the same room, you sleep in the same bed.
And you wake up together.
You wake up together.
Well, no, you on the top bunk, I was on the bottom.
But sometimes we'd always end up in the same bed together. You take baths together. When bath time is over and you're too old for baths, you take showers together. We were
taking showers
together at 11 years old. Yep. Brush our teeth together. She'd use the bathroom. She'd get up. I'd use the bathroom. So I had to tell my sister, kids, think about it. Which one are you going to be the closest to? We were inseparable. It was like a friend that you were born with.
That you can never get rid of.
And you can never get rid of.
That's friends you can never get rid of.
That's the only way that you can describe it.
But she did have, she had her own set of friends.
Right.
And I had my own set of friends.
Right.
And then in school, we meet up together and go get some coffee cake in line in school. But we had our own sets of friends. Right. But we were never alone. And I think I explained this one time to somebody. I'm not used to the cliquey
we never
groups
we never been like
women groups, and because we always had each other.
And my father always taught us that you don't need friends because you have your sisters.
And so
she's the same way I am. We're used to being in the house.
I like being by myself.
I like being in the house by myself. But you know, there's times when you go out and hang with your friends, and but when you're home, that's your comfort place, your solitude.
Yeah, I like my
and I don't want to be bothered when I'm home.
And so then when it comes to the HIV community and just being in, I don't know, I'm just always done things by myself. It works out better like that for me. Deirdre out here, she know. I was getting her nerves on that drive. I know I was, Deirdre. But I can't help it. Because when you have something that's so deep inside of you, you don't want to let somebody change what you see in front of you. But I'm starting to learn that I have to give other people the opportunity to help me with their ideas as well. And it's not that I don't want your ideas. It's just I think that controlling part of me. Right. So I'm learning now to share that space with people. When they want to help, instead of pushing them away, like, no, we got to do it this way because this is the way I want to do it. But there's people that have great ideas as well. And we could come together with those ideas instead of me always saying I can do it by myself. Because when you keep doing things by yourself, you're going to drive yourself crazy. Right. And it's not going to work out good a lot of times. But she said, no, you sure didn't. Yes, I did.
So I want to go back to what Davina was saying about her relationships and the things that happen and how she ended up with the kind of men that she ended up with. And like I said in my video, things that happen to you in your past or things that happen to you in your childhood is a reflection of who you are when you grow up. And see, with me, granted, my life, I did great. I did well. I raised my son. He went to college, whole nine. But I couldn't quite get relationships right. And that's how I see it. Although I was
Mine were a long time, but hers were never long time.
Even though I was with my husband for 16 years, there were things that I saw before marriage, and I married him anyway.
You know how we do, ladies. We pass the signs right on by. Yeah.
And nothing against him, because we as women, there are things that we accept. I did leave him once.
A lot of people don't know that.
And then I took him back again. And the relationship was never the same. So me now in this space at this time, I feel good. I feel really good about my life, about myself, about where I am. Yeah. And like I said, nothing against him. We accept things, and he's who he is, and I can't change him. But right now in this space, I feel good. And I also feel like I'm closer to my sister now that he's not there. And that's another story in itself.
Right. Right.
That's another story in itself. But I relaunched my fitness business again. I'm writing a book. And then I started this podcast. And I started the podcast because of what happened to us. And she'll probably be on there a couple times. But my podcast is to help others.
I'll put it up.
My podcast is to help others who went through what we went through, or just help others, period. Because women need someone to talk to. Girls need someone to talk to. I got through it, and other people can get through it. Other people can get through depression, their anxiety. We've had all of that, and we still made it through.
By the grace of God.
Right. Like I said at the beginning, every day is a new start. And during that time when we were homeless and we were out, we didn't even think about it. Every now and then we would say, "How did we end up here? We weren't raised like this."
How do we even get through? How do we even get through it? How did we get through it?
Get through something like that. And in my video, I said, you didn't think about it. You just kept moving forward, and you just kept going because you knew that there was an end to the madness.
An end to the madness.
And look at us.
Yeah. My madness didn't end until I was 40.
That's okay. It ended. It ended. There's no time frame for an end.
Right. Right.
As long as you get there, there's always an end to your beginning. There's an end to your beginning, and
so you always tell people to take, you can take your pain, and you can turn it into a positive, to help other people. You take your pain and you turn it into joy, because you can. If you soak in it, what good is that? What is that going to do?
Life's going to keep moving without
do you any good. So you turn your pain into something positive, and that positivity that you turn it into can turn around and help somebody else.
My line is embrace your failures.
Yeah.
Because if you don't embrace your failures, you can't move forward. You can't be successful without embracing the failures, and you have to fail to become successful. People who are successful have failed.
They failed.
Trust me. I have failed over and over and over again.
Getting up, dust yourself off.
Right.
Keep getting up. Dust yourself off. Keep getting up. Yeah, basic survival skills. It comes natural for a lot of people. It becomes natural. If you go through it for so long, just surviving becomes natural because you start to figure out a way to get through the things that you've been through the easiest way that you can, not the easiest way that someone else can tell you to get
do it in your own way.
Do it in your own way.
You have to do it in your own way.
So, anyhow, we're gonna go.
It's our birthday, so we're leaving.
It's our birthday. We're going to go have some dinner.
How about you? How about you, Mark?
That's what we're doing. We're going to take you out of here. We're going to sing happy birthday to us again.
Be blessed, be prosperous, and be amazing. And remember, every day is a new start.
Right. And this is Positively Discussing. You have to remember that HIV still exists. You have to get tested. You have to use protection. Because if you have contracted HIV, you can get on medication and you can live a better, healthier life.
Amen.
Yeah. I love you. Love
Bye.
you.
Love you guys. Sorry we didn't get to answer questions.
Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday.
Bye-bye. Have a great day, you guys.
Wish
Love
you
you.
guys were here with us for
Bye-bye.
our birthday.